Hello, everybody, and welcome. Whoa, that hurt. To another brand new Let's Play. Of course, as you can see from the title of the game, and as you can see from the logo here itself, it's Sucker Punch. It's not Sly Cooper. It's actually their successor series to it, known as Infamous. Or more colloquially known as Infamous 2. And looks like I'm starting further in, because we're loading up a save state. We're going to go ahead and just do new game from here, because that's kind of how you do it sometimes. No, I'm fine. It's been a while, but anyway, yeah, I've been wanting to do this one for a while, and for a pretty good while, too. Now, here's the thing that's pretty cool about Infamous 2. You can pick, I'm going to get off that because it's getting really annoying. You can pick between either evil karma from the last game, good karma, which is a good way of doing, like, showing off, like, okay, what would you prefer? Or we're just going to start with just a pure new game and decide halfway through it. My original Let's Play of Infamous was good. I did do a good playthrough. By the way, yes, this game allows you to skip cutscenes, and unfortunately I have this really annoying ass... Like, the comic cutscenes can be skipped with just a press of a button, but then actual other cutscenes need to be skipped via actually going to a skip menu. So, anyway... Yeah, like I said, you get to pick which type of good, evil thing you did. I did good back in the day, and you're probably thinking like, oh, well then that means that this playthrough itself might be evil. Maybe. Evil and good don't really matter as much in regards of anything. Besides, obviously, like, you know, what ending you're gonna get, that sort of thing. Which is fine and dandy, but I feel like Infamous 2... And this is just a personal opinion. I feel like with Infamous 2, I don't really care all that much about the ending itself. Yeah, I mean, I like one of the endings, but it's mainly about it. I like the good ending. I may just continue with being good, who knows, but then again, that requires a little bit, I guess you could say, less fun things to do. And just kind of gonna spoil ahead here, but Infamous 2 did add different sort of powers you get if you pick good or evil. Good being ice, evil being fire, and they're kind of dog shit. That's how I see it, though. So once again, like I said, this is just my own opinion. And another funny little thing I want to talk about, two things actually. This playthrough might be one of the, you know, playthroughs that might not end up actually getting finished because of how long this game can kind of take. So there's always a chance I might end up just saying, screw this whole thing. And plus, I'm recording this straight on PS3 as well. And I was doing Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, but I was having fun with it, but then I noticed, like, oh yeah, my internet, PlayStation account name just straight up right there. It's like, I don't know. Not like it matters, but it does to me, I guess. And, like I said, this playthrough might not be one of the playthroughs I might end up getting done. And also, while I was doing that Nitro Fueled Let's Play, I did mention the unfortunate rumor, because I don't like rumors, I don't like leaks, you've probably heard it by now, but something about Infamous getting either a collection, a new game, maybe even, I don't know, something along the lines of just something Infamous related. And it might end up happening around the State of Play, which is on like June 2nd. Which would be cool if we did get something. I would like that. I wouldn't mind getting like a full actual port of these games instead of just using it on PS Plus. I would also like... I wouldn't mind a remaster, a remake. I don't care. If we get anything Infamous related, you know, I just want something. Even if it's Cole McGrath and fucking Fate Go, I don't care at this point. I just want something Infamous related because I've been dying and itching for Infamous content ever since Infamous Second Son came out. Now, don't get me wrong. I actually like Second Son. I like it enough. I do like it. And I will probably end up wanting to do it for the sake of doing it at some point, maybe. But that's a whole big another can of worms I don't want to get into right now. I had to sleep on that just to decide if I wanted to do YouTube today anyway. I have been fiending at the mouth about wanting to make an update video again, even though I keep doing them like all the damn time, because I was going through some weird sort of issue I was having, and I was like, I don't know, man, I don't know if I want to do this, that, or the other, the usual update. So hey, I'm doing this video now, and just because I like Infamous, and I mean, might as well, you know, give some good luck out there for the Infamous fans, such as myself, to finally get something, hopefully anything Cole McGrath related, or just, like I said, a completely new game would be fine. A sequel to Second Son, I really wouldn't care. I really would not care. I mean, it could be a Wood Rocket production of fucking Infamous, of Cole fucking Zeke. I don't, like, anything would work for me at this point. I'm so starving for Infamous content, which is funny too, because like, I don't really starve every year. I typically get stuff I want. I thought I was not recording for a second. I typically get cool things. You know, we got Ninja Gaiden, like 3 games last year. I have a lot of different games I'm kind of into, but Infamous will always be one of the few game series that I end up really, really wanting to play, regardless of how shitty it might look. But that's also actually technically not true, because I do not own First Light, and as far as I know I don't own it. I think I played it through PS Plus. But when that came out, I already didn't give a shit. So, technically, I guess I'm a liar. But, I don't know. First Light just didn't look like it'd be my cup of tea anyway. Which is funny, because now I'm saying, like, oh, I would love more Infamous stuff. But fuck First Light. So, I don't know. I did like Festival of Blood a little bit. I mean, when Infamous 2 came out, I liked it, too. And then I stopped liking it, so I guess it's more or less I'm a huge fan of the series, and more so just a big fan of Infamous 1. Like, a really big fan. To the point where I still even consider Infamous 1 as, in my opinion, still in the list of my top 10 favorite games list. Which does change quite often, by the way, mind you. So this is kind of why I decided doing New Game Plus. Or, sorry, not doing New Game Plus. Because, I mean, I think you still get the option anyway. But the option kind of skews depending on what side you pick. So, for example, like, this is your first Karmic mission. And depending on what you decide to do with it will determine whether or not you're good or evil. And, like I said, last time, I played good. I thought about doing evil for Infamous 1 for Hardcorian. But now that I think about it, I don't know. I feel like a bastard today. So, you know what? Even though I don't care much for the lightning design, that's one big thing that pissed me off about this game, though, is the design of your electric powers was huge for me when you were good and evil. And now they're just kind of not that cool looking. So, Infamous 1 was red. Pure red lightning. And boy howdy was it cool. Cool enough to the point where I might end up actually deciding to play Infamous 1 again for old time's sake because of how fun it is. This game decided to opt into more of a orange color. And also, the enemies you fight, as cool as they might look, still have like that little bit of orange tint. Orange is not a bad color per se, but in my opinion, I don't really feel like it works really well, color-wise for this game. Outside of the Louisiana hick cult people. I don't know. I don't like it. That's just me, though. So, another thing that Infamous 2 decided to change was now you have a... Well, you've always had an energy meter, but they changed it to the point where now... you do actually end up eating electricity by using your normal shock powers. Your normal shooting now uses electricity, which I'm not a fan of it. I've always kind of preferred the way Infamous 1 did it. I mean, as you can tell, I prefer Infamous 1 in general. And plus, not to mention Infamous 1. red and black lightning. I mean, come on, that shit's, you know, dope as hell. And, yeah, like I said, the orange lightning doesn't really do it for me. And a few other things. Again, the place we're at, Louisiana, it just kind of bothers me. Funny enough, shooting electricity out of my hands does waste electricity, but somehow levitating and possibly just letting off electricity that way doesn't. I don't know how that works, so I don't know why they decided to make that change. Could be like a big giant Jack 1, Jack 2 change. That's way too different than this. You could argue it's the same thing like with Slide 2 and 3, where Slide 3 gets rid of the bottles in place of just having more, I guess, story, kind of, maybe. It does have that pirate level, it's pretty big. Oh, another big thing in this game, too, speaking of big stuff, whoa, holy moly, is Amp, the melee weapon, which is absolutely fantastic. The best thing about Infamous 2 is the Amp. I think it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And if we ever end up getting Infamous 3, we better have a melee weapon again, I swear. Something else, too, is I was so excited for this game, I didn't give a shit about the Nathan Drake hair. And if people know what I'm talking about, and you were there for it, you know what I mean. That first trailer, at least one of the first few trailers, where Cole used to actually have hair. They were going to put that in the game. And I didn't care. I was like, I don't care. Yeah, it's like PS3 generation haircut, but I was fine with it. You know, I was like 14, 15 when the game, I think, was coming out, maybe. So, I didn't give a shit. I already played Infamous 1 to hell and back. I was so excited for finally a release of Infamous 2. I was so excited. Same thing with Bioshock 2. I was so excited for both. Which, funny enough, believe it or not, I ended up not liking Bioshock 2 except for the multiplayer. And then it took me probably, how long has it been now? 15 plus years? Because it came out in 2010. It took me like 15 or so years to come around to actually being like, oh wow, it's actually really good. Like, campaign-wise, holy shit. So maybe Infamous 2 might be the same case. Who knows? But yeah, if you're also wondering, well, you want a port of this game, but what about like all those other games that people want a port of? So, you mean to tell me that you just fucking hate, you hate Bloodborne? Or you hate Ape Escape, and you don't want that to get a collection? I mean, this is not Twitter, so I didn't say that. 2, that's not true. I would love to have both of those. I mean, for Bloodborne, I don't really care. Ape Escape 3 is more a case of like, well, Ape Escape is more of a case of like, it'd be nice to have 3 on something that's not just the PS2. Because at least we have the other ones, but that's mostly about it for me. It would be neat. I mean, all these would be neat. You know, Ape Escape fans, Bloodborne fans, anything of the sort like that. You know, I'm not against that. I'm just saying, like, look, I've played this series for a while. I kind of want it to come back a little bit. But then again, like, I do understand that to some extent, there's also other games out there that just don't get anything at all. And F-Zero fans, you know, they be eating shit all the time. So, yeah. I probably don't need to explain too much about the melee system. You basically hit people twice. You build up like a finisher type move. And then with that said finisher type move, you can press triangle and then it just does a thing where it finishes somebody off. And just because I want to show it off real quick, not like it really matters. Good thing he decided to reload at the right time. Because boy howdy, I would have been dead. Oh, yeah, I don't think I ever did end up 100%ing Infamous 1 on the channel. I have actually 100% the game before in the past. But as much as I love Infamous 1, and trust me, I love Infamous 1. Holy fucking hell, I'm not doing all that. However, Infamous 2, though, fixes the collectible system. And it does so in a weird way, but it does actually work pretty well. So, back in the original game, just to explain it, if you hit R3, you can, or L3, I guess. Man, am I dumb as fuck. Did I already forget it was L3 the whole time? Anyway, so if you hit, like, the stick button, you can locate blast shards, you can locate, Well, obviously electricity, that kind of thing. But collectible-wise was blast shards and dead drops. Dead drops were always a constant thing that you could find. You could find blast shards all the time, yes, too. But the way that blast shards worked was they would only show you blast shards within the same vicinity as your scan. This game allows you, I think, to upgrade your scan. Yeah, it does. And the problem with something like that, it does work, but you'd have to clear out the entire city looking for that one lone blast shard, and it sucked, to say the least. It sucked getting that platinum. It took me years to get that platinum, because I would literally just download maps looking for the fucking thing, marking off every single... I'm not kidding you. I would mark off every single building looking for a goddamn blast shard, only to then finally, one day, finally, come across getting... Dude, I'm trying to eat right now. Can you please? Can you please fuck off? Okay, anyway. Yeah, there's a drug bust, but I'm evil, so... Sorry. I would help you, but I can't. Because, again, I'm an evil bastard. Yeah, so... But dead drops, every time that you use your sonar, dead drops would always show up on the map. Within, like, a weird, like, gray thing that would be like, oh, here's a gray outline of the map, and it would just point you in the direction. It's like a way marker sort of thing, okay? And you could find every single one, no problem. I mean, granted, you eventually had to continue the story to find the others, but that's fine. So, this game changes it to where now you can upgrade your sonar to find blast shards at all times. When you get the last and final blast, or the last sonar upgrade, you are able to find the next blast shard regardless of distance entirely. And it's awesome. And I love that. But there's one thing that they did change that isn't really that bad because of the collectible itself not being that bad. But the dead drops were changed. Dead drops are now birds that flight in the sky. Yeah, okay. They're birds that fly in the sky, and they have little things on them, and you just basically shock the bird. I don't think Cole... If I remember correctly, I think Cole said something along the lines of, like, I'm not really hurting it, I'm just kind of, like, paralyzing it for a few seconds or something. I don't know. They're down there for a while. Anyway, you just roast a couple birds, they drop a dead drop, and then you pick it up that way. But the way they show up on the map is more so on, I think, your mini-map. And they'll just show up within a vicinity of, like, a specific area. There's typically, like, one per area. So instead of having to travel every goddamn building known to man, and then having to... Back in, like, Infamous 1, like, you know, having to cross every building for every goddamn blast shard, and then you would have to go play Lego Batman 3 in order to find the rest. It was awful. But this game, you know... Now it's dead drops do that, but, like I said, the positive note is the fact that, at the very least, they're only one per territory, and there's like 20 of them, so... Instead of like the 300-some that you get back in the day, which is funny, because talking about blast shard stuff, if you guys remember that one mission where you're helping this guy out protect his locker, and he's got like 5 blast shards in there, you have the option, it's a karmic choice, you have the option of either taking one when you save him, or you just kill him and take all 5. Or, if you're a dick like me, you would just save him. He would give you the one blast shard. Sorry, I wasn't really paying attention to what the fuck I was supposed to be doing. He'd give... Oh, watch this. You can do this too. It's pretty cool. Yeah, you can fly on top of it and do it that way. So he would give you the one blast shard, and then he would steal the other 5. But... Yeah, so I used to think, like, back then, like, oh, those blast shards, I mean, they all give you experience anyway. I used to think that they would count toward the actual total goal of getting 300-some. I don't think that's the case. I am not paying attention to what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing here. I was not reading at all. This is exactly why modern gaming has become exactly what it is. Because there's people like me who spend way too fucking long thinking that they know everything about the game and know everything what they're doing. And they just dick around and then end up wondering what the hell is wrong, and they blame the game for it. Think, the Aaron Hansen problem. You know, Egoraptor. Now, here's something my karmic choice will allow me to do. Can you imagine having an Infamous game where you don't have an equal amount of evil and good stuff to do. Oh yeah, and also these. Call of Booty, Uncharted Love, Hush, Assassin's Need Love 2, that one's pretty funny. Hey, Low, Reach, No Need for Speed. Can you shut the fuck up? Epic Hickey. Give me 1 second, I got some cops to deal with. In this damn cursed game. One thing I really don't like is I don't like the city in this game. I prefer Empire City. It just looks gross and swampy, and I don't like that. But then again, I'm in Hicktown, so I mean, I don't... whatever. Little Big Unit, Latchet, and Skank, and then, of course, Sly. And look at that! Now playing Sly 4. Oh, I thought that said ass. Buddy Boss and Zyle. Sin Center. Central. Over... I've never seen this before. Over 9,000 club. What the fuck? I have never looked at that. Kirby Tay Bugs? Huh. I wonder who would like that one. Or does that say 10 bugs? I can't tell. Alright, anyway. So, the white missions down here, they only specify... I'm curious. I want to look at the city, because I've never really looked at it before. I'm getting P3 vibes in this, like, big time. Probably because, again, I might have been playing it around that time. Who knows? Excuse you, sir. Or ma'am. What are you doing? Looking in the trash can like that. You know what we do to people like that look through trash cans and shit? Nothing. That's what we do. What do you think I was going to do? Hit him? I may be evil, but I'm not an absolute asshole. Not yet, anyway. I still have to work my way to get to that point. Yeah, I still don't really care much for the city design. I mean, if you guys do, that's fine, of course. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that me, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't mind these guys. I think their designs are pretty good. And, like, wait, are they orange or are they actually yellow? I'm pretty sure they're orange. Anyway, I do like their color designs because I think it does match really well. It's just, again, like Cole's colors I just don't care for. Not really at all. Oh god, theory crafting about another Infamous game would be so cool. I remember back in the day I thought like, oh man, it should be a game where like Zeke gets powers finally and then like they have to fight at the very end. I told my brother that and he's like, of course you would fucking say that. Like every idea I ever usually have ends up being like, so basically these guys used to be like friends or whatever and now they have to fight each other. It's like really cool and super climatic. It's super cliche that I do that. I don't do it all the time, but it's known enough to where it's like, okay, maybe I do it quite often. But one thing that would be kind of cool is like either Zeke being playable or having like a ton more powers like you do in Second Son, but you can play as Cole or something. I know people are probably getting pissed off like, you're fucking spoiling this game, motherfucker. It doesn't matter, this game's old as shit. I mean, you came into this video probably most likely expecting that to happen. Somebody got pissed at me one time for spoiling Bioshock 2. I'm like, dude, the game's old now. I mean, that's like spoiling, you know, Final Fantasy 7 and shit, like Aerith getting killed. What do you want me to do? I mean, yeah, not say it, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't expect more than like 10 views on this game anyway, so I don't know. But hey, out of those 10 views, someone might end up getting pissed off. One small minor nitpick I have. R1 is to interact with stuff now. Not just triangle like I'm used to. No, now they gotta be weird about it. But one great thing though, you don't have to unlock grenades or shockwave. Well, you didn't really... you technically unlock shockwave. I guess in this game you also technically... I guess if you want to be hyper-specific, you could say that, yes, you do theoretically unlock shockwave and grenade via just progression, like story progression shit, but like you did in Infamous 1. But you get them a lot faster. The ability, like thrusters as well, same thing. Also, one really cool thing, this. In Second Son, they changed it into like a smoke stack type thing that you can crawl through, like a vent. All right, there you go. I like how Zeke is basically telling you to do something evil. That's something about Infamous I've never really understood. Like, yeah, you know, Zeke. If you're the good guy, it would have been nice if Zeke just kind of understood that. Like, wait a minute, if Cole jumps down and he does a slam. Oh, there's 29. Oh, my bad. What did I say, like 26 or 24? Anyway, it would have been nice, just a little bit nice, if Zeke was just a little less destructive. But then again, you could make the argument that, like, well, that's just him in general. I mean, wouldn't you want to see that happen in real life? I mean, I guess, but I don't want anybody getting hurt from it. I'm just, like, watching a guy jump off a building and then do, like, a shockwave slam and destroy some cars would be cool. But, you know, like I said, without the innocent pedestrians being there, because that would not be very nice, and I would not like to see that. Thank you very much. This is a video game, and it's more fun, you know, it's, yeah. What's all these lame, dumbass tutorial things you want me to do? This sucks. This is why I don't like Quo, because I always call her Status Quo. Which I think that's actually a trophy name. Because she's always the good guy. She's always keeping the status quo, I guess. Haha, hardy har har. And then there's Nyx. Oh, dear God, there's Nyx. Quo sucks. But only in the regard that I just don't really care for these extra characters at all. So Quo ends up being the case of, well, I just don't give a shit about the writing in this one as much compared to the other one. With Moya and stuff, I kind of like her better. And then you get Nyx. And then it's like, well, at least Quo is a lesser of two evils. Literally and metaphorically, I might add. I just don't care for Nyx. Her whole thing in this game is, you know, I'm super... I don't know, pretend attracted to fucking Cole shit for a while. I mean, I think she probably does actually get, it's just, I don't know. I find her to be really obnoxious with all her flirtatious crap. And on top of that, because it does kind of feel fake. I mean, she's evil, so I guess she's the evil side, quote unquote. And on top of that as well, just her love for destruction. Like, I like destruction in these games as much as the next guy, but I don't know. I just don't like these characters. I find them really bland and annoying. And that's it. End of story. And then also the powers that they provide are just kind of whatever. But that's not their fault. That's the game's fault for just making whatever powers. You'll see what I mean. Once we get our first opportunity to finally get access to fire and ice. I remember, I think ice was my first one I picked. Because I usually pick good anyway. I need to do an evil playthrough of Infamous 1 then in that case. So yeah, I picked ice and I'm like, oh, this is disappointing as fuck. Only then to pick fire eventually on my second playthrough because that's what you do. And then the same thing happened there too. I'm dead. Oh, okay. Just critical shot, I guess. Yeah, same thing happened to fire as well. I'm like, this sucks. They both suck. You guys think evil and good Cole and PlayStation All-Stars sucks dick? Wait till you play the actual game, and then you realize, like, oh, wait a minute. He does suck dick in this game, too. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't suck dick. It's a weird change. I don't like it. I don't like the fire and ice. I mean, I like fire and ice as an element, but I don't know. And plus, on top of that, you only get one out of the two. You have to play both playthroughs to get both. And not in the same playthrough, mind you. Like, you are literally stuck with one singular power. Well, technically two if you count electricity. You're still stuck with just the one. That's what I'm saying. Is like it just. Yeah, it would have been nice to like have an ability to switch between the two. I think something I used to do back then too. I've never really actually done it before. Was I wondered if you could switch from like Infamous, if you could switch from that all the way like back to Heroic, or what the original one was called again, the last. the last hero, Karma. I've always wondered, like, if you could switch back and forth between good and evil eventually. Like, if you do enough good stuff, can you do that? It would be easier to do evil. It would be easier to do, to start with good and then work your way back with evil. Because destroying shit in Infamous is a lot easier than just saving 100 people's lives. So, yeah. By the way, I'm not going for 100%. That's not the plan. It might happen, but I wouldn't count on it. So, don't. But, like I said, there's always the possibility, the small, strange little possibility that I might do this. And if you're wondering, if you've seen the Spider-Man playthrough, and you're wondering, why the fuck does Alex like to collect shit all the time? This. You can blame almost everything on this fucking game right here. Not just Infamous 2. I'm talking about Infamous in general. Have you ever wondered, why do I like collecting shit in these dumbass open world environment areas? And more so sandbox. I don't like open world stuff. I prefer sandbox. And now you have your answer. It was always right in front of us. It's always been Infamous. So I'm guessing most likely half this game is going to end up being this. And if you think to yourself, did you do the same shit in Arkham City? Well, yes, technically. However, I don't really care much for Arkham City in comparison to Infamous, though, either. So there's that. But I think we're all aware of that. I'm very opinionated, aren't I? I'm sure I'm pissing off plenty of people with that. They're like, dude, like, why are you so actively angry and against certain games that I like? I'm just saying that I don't really care for Arkham City. There's aspects of it I think are nice, and there's parts of it I think are cool, but I still prefer Asylum. And then after actually playing Asylum 1,500 times, I've now gotten bored of it. And I keep trying to play Arkham Origins, but I can't get back into that one either. That one's kind of hard to get back into. Like, getting past Blackgate is just obnoxious. Slightly obnoxious to me, that's all. I've done it a couple of times, and it's like, I don't know. And even when I do get past it, then you gotta do the whole Harvey Dent robbing a bank thing or whatever it was, and I just don't want to do that stuff either. I think Origins is a good game. I also think Arkham City is a good game too. I mean, there's a lot of things that are updated. I'm just not a fan of the Ra's al Ghul stuff and all that. By the way, yes, Subway is in the game. There was a sponsorship with, was it Sony or is it just in general? I don't know. Nathan Drake had a commercial. I remember that. And then there's just Subway straight up here. So it makes you kind of want some Subway right about now, don't it? Well, I mean, I would, but we're going somewhere else today. So I'm waiting for my brother to get off work, which means I probably should put my pants on soon. My pants are not off because of what you think they're off for. I took a shower, okay? They were off before I took a shower, doing exactly what you think I was doing. And then I took a shower. Actually, no, I didn't. Okay, never mind. Yeah, people are probably like, okay, that's enough. So, yeah. Hopefully, you know, you guys end up actually enjoying this, because, I mean, I'm having a bit of fun right now. I'm just collecting everything in sight, because that's just what I do. Hey, once I see a blue dot in my screen, I'm going right for it. Because that shit helps out a ton. And I still like Infamous, though. These are usually the aspects of Infamous 2 I actually even like. Believe it or not, I'm not a big fan of the mission stuff in most of these games. Kind of. Like, the train mission from 1 was fine, like the first train mission. Or just in general. Like, I like a lot of the side quest stuff in Infamous 1. I still do. And that's how you know I really like Infamous 1. And then you get to the last... You get the last district, the historic district, and it all goes to shit. And I'm like, okay, never mind. Actually, once you get to the second district, it's like... Ugh. I still love Infamous 1, but like, oh, man. You know what I'm saying, dog? You know what I mean? I think I was also probably playing a lot of Tekken Tag 2 around this time as well. When I got my hands on Tekken Tag 2, I was kind of stuck in it. That was like the main Tekken game we played for a while. And then Tekken 7 came out and blew everything out of the water. I finally discovered a real Tekken game. Because, like, I only ever owned Tekken 2. I didn't own it, my parents did. It was their copy, but I played it more so than they did. Eventually, you get a power-up where you can actually jump off cars. That's pretty neat, ain't it? So, yeah, like, I used to play a lot of Tekken 2 as a kid, and then we never had a Tekken since, until, like, I eventually got my hands on Tekken 2. On PS3 and such. And then, Tekken Tag 2. And Tekken Revolution. Played a little bit of that. And then Tekken 7. And then after I got Tekken 7, I started going back and grabbing other Tekkens that I missed, like Tekken Tag 1, Tekken 1, Tekken 3, 4, 5, 6, you name it. They weren't really hard to find or really expensive either, just, you know, like Tekken 1 you can get on PlayStation right now. Tekken 3 is actually finally on PS5, which I think you can buy that too if you don't want to stream it. Well, if you don't have PS Plus, you can just straight up buy it. Which I like that option, though. Because I understand why you probably want PS Plus, because how fucking nasty expensive it is. It's like, what, 200 fucking goddamn dollars a year for just... I mean, there's some good stuff in it, but I don't know if it's really worth the 200 bucks, though. Like, Nintendo Online I'm fine with, because it's $50 a year for a lot of stuff. I mean, well, you get to play online, you get, which, I mean, that was already going to happen anyway, but you get that on top of the booster packs for free, which I think you get to keep no matter what, too, for Mario Kart 8, regardless of online membership or not, I think. And then you get access to, like, 64 games, GameCube games if you're on Switch 2, and stuff like that. And they have a good amount of roster of stuff, and they don't really tend to get rid of anything either, like fucking PlayStation does. Which I like. I like how Nintendo is able just to keep their shit. And now we're finally getting DK64 after all this time, but I don't really like DK64 much, so I'm probably not going to get much out of it. But my brother sure will, I'm sure. And then there's always a constant joke of, oh, are we going to do like a 5-person DK64 Let's Play? I don't know. And that's what I want to make an update video about, is I'm having one of those issues again where I keep thinking to myself, I think it's time to not necessarily quit, obviously, but, you know, start to slow down again on this type of stuff, because not that I'm getting worn out by it, but like, certain parts of it are starting to kind of feel like a job again, where I'm starting to feel like the cursed obligation to do things, and that's why I kind of want to save it for an update video if I decide to do it. But I slept on it, and I thought, like, maybe I'm overthinking it, like I usually do. That's usually what ends up happening. I tend to overthink everything, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, I was kind of being an asshole, you know. You're an asshole, Doc. I haven't done anything yet. I'm just saying, like, I feel like I would be an asshole if I just decided to say what I want to say. Again, like I said, I could keep it for an update video, but I guess I could just say it right now. So, a few things have been happening. I've just been getting this surge of, like, a slight burnout of YouTube. Because, once again, I've just been kind of thinking to myself, like, what the fuck am I doing, man? You know. And then on top of that, starting a new fucking series again, but this time on my friend's channel again. And it's the same series as my Super Genius, but now it's the usual thing that we tend to do. It's like, oh, Alex has an idea, Alex does idea, and then wouldn't it be funny if we also do the same idea, but now on my friend's channel? And then I end up kind of just, either I end up suggesting it or really wanting to do it, and I kind of fall into that trap of letting myself just decide to do it. And then what makes it worse is, like, this idea is, it's Super Genius, but with a slight twist of randomly picking the games. And now my friend went through, and I don't know if he ever ended up doing it actually, but going through and taking all his games and making like a randomizer for it. And now it hit me right after. I'm like, wait a minute. That means I'm stuck doing this shit. Like, I'm stuck I got myself into something that I can't get myself out of. Because I feel like I'm obligated to now do those videos because my friend's putting in the effort of actually doing something with it. It's like, oh shit, well at least I owe him for that. You know, and it feels awful. But it's what I actually do genuinely feel. It's like, oh man, I'm obligated again. I mean, to be fair, I am kind of part asshole, so I mean, it's not impossible just to say, like, I give up, fuck it, whatever. And just to make matters worse, I'm going to be real with you. I'm not sure if this is just intentionally done. I'm just telling you guys straight up what I feel and what my brain thinks. And again, I want to make this very clear and logical that this might not be the case. It's just something that my brain tends to think is happening. So it ends up going into fight or flight and trying to survive and just get out of thing. Before it's too late. That sort of ordeal. So my friend, like, I gave him the videos. Like, we recorded 2 videos. I think the other one's uploaded by now. I'm not sure. I ended up watching the Glover one. He also made a small update video about talking about the new series itself. Not really much of an update, but more so like just talking about the new series. And funny enough, I'm not gonna lie, I'll probably end up telling him this. I'll probably end up telling him this anyway. But after sleeping on it, I'm like, I don't really like the name of it either, as much as I thought I did because we were talking about it like late at night. I was fucking falling asleep by the time we're doing the second game, so already I'm just kind of not really there, you know, mentally. So I'm just going with the flow that, like I usually do, and ending up saying yes to things that I probably shouldn't have. It's why It's why I used to get into scams. Or I'm not a scammer. I'm saying, like, that's why I fell for scams back in the day as a kid. Because I would just cave into peer pressure and be like, well, like, I gotta do it because, like, this person says I gotta do it. You know. But now that I think about it, it's like, I don't think I really vibe with the game or the name of the game. Sorry, the name of the series very much. It's just game gambling. It's like, it sounded nice on paper, but now I think about it, it's like, I don't know. Like, Sega Genius was funnier and way more interesting, but then you can make the argument like, well, that's your idea that you came up with, so that's not fair. I know, but... And again, at the end of the day, this is also my friend's channel. Like, he can do whatever he wants, technically. But it does still give off that feeling of, like, I'm being, you know, copied for everything I do. Like, every idea I come up with is always just, well, time to do the same thing, but now on my friend's channel. You know. And that sucks feeling like that, but that's just how it feels. There's not much I can do about that. And then on top of that, what's the third thing it was? Well, like I said, I feel like I'm obligated to do it, and like that ruins it for me a little bit. Oh yeah, so I gave him the raw files to just upload straight away, but I think what he does is he goes into an editor, I'm pretty sure, and he'll edit the videos. I don't know what he exactly edits, outside of maybe cutting out an intro, maybe. Although technically we could just do that from my side with Elgato, but I end up just giving him the raw file regardless of intro or not. I think that's what he ends up editing. And then for some dumbass reason, I don't know why, I've told him this before, and I still have a problem with it. And this, you could say, once again, the argument is like, well, this is just a you problem. No one else has that same problem, so why care? That's the thing about the update video. I kind of want to elaborate a little bit, but I guess I can say it here. Is it almost feels like it's intentionally, like, he makes his videos quiet than I want them to be, which sounds really selfish and mean, which, yes, it is. But I'm just telling you what my brain thinks, okay? My brain thinks that it's almost done intentionally just to spite me. Like, oh, you don't like the fact that my videos are quiet and you can't hear them? Well, too fucking bad. I'll make your videos quiet and you can't hear them. So fuck you, you know? That's what it thinks. Now, there's a possibility that that's true. There's plenty of realities I'm sure that's real in, but I'm just saying, like, that's just what my brain tells me. But the logical side of my brain just says, no, you're just a fucking idiot. He just, he has his volume settings a certain way, and unfortunately they just happen to be a lot more quiet than every other YouTube video you watch. And I'm being dead honest when I say that too, so if he's watching this, which he probably is not, but if he is, every video you do seems to be really fucking quiet, and as somebody who likes to edit videos and work on videos, it does kind of bother me. Now again, like I said, this is his channel, he can do whatever he wants. But when it comes to like videos that I produce, you know, that's a part of my soul that I'm giving away, and then it feels like my soul is being ripped out of me. And then he did mention, like, in his video that this is related to the Super Genius stuff. But then in the description for Glover, it mentions that the series is, like, mirror matched. And I'm thinking, like, who the fuck knows what that is outside of people who really know what that means? And it almost feels like he's just taking the idea and just saying, like, yeah, I made it. Which, to be fair, when you think about it, Super Genius is, well, inspired heavily by James and Mike Mondays, or if you really wanted to say it, ripped off from. But with the hint of like whatever the hell we do. So I'm pointing out the idea that this might not be like an intentional douche trick, but it tends to kind of feel that way. At least that's what my brain tells me, and I don't know, you know. Sometimes my gut is wrong, and sometimes it's right, so who the fuck really knows? I just wanted to say that, and like I said, I'll probably talk with him about it in more detail with him about these kinds of things, or either that or save it for an update video, which sounds really douchey, because it's like, oh, well, now you're making it public without even addressing it to the person in question. Well, that's the other thing, too, is regardless of it, whether or not it's private or public, doesn't really matter, because if I end up saying it privately, it's not gonna change anything. Just being dead honest. I've tried telling him back in the past before, like, hey, your videos are, like, the videos that we make, specifically ones I'm giving you, you make them too it was for Hardcorean, that's what it was. I think he was doing, like, Pikmin 3, he made his videos too fucking quiet, and it's like, dude, I can't fucking hear your videos. Like, if I have to turn up my speakers all the way up just to hear it, I think that's a bad video to me. Like, yeah, he was the one recording Pikmin 3, but it was for Hardcorean, so at that point it's like, okay, man, this affects my channel. And, like I said, you know, I take my work with pride, okay? I understand I do a lot of low-effort shit, like I'm recording Let's Plays, for God's sake, who cares? I get that, but at the same time, I've always taken my work with pride in everything that I do. So, is that a bad thing? Probably, but that's just how I am. I like to work on things. I like things to be well-liked. I like having effort in things. I like having a decent quality mic. And I understand that for co-op videos, like, I keep saying like all the time. For co-op videos, we kind of tend to peak the mic or have, like, you know, lower quality because there's 3 people talking to, like, a single mic at the same time. And there's a little bit of echo, maybe. There's issues like that. But I think those are more fun because, well, we're just kind of chilling and hanging out. But yeah, either way, I might make an update video. But the point is that I take a lot of pride in the stuff I do. And when something happens to the content that I make, whether it be drawing or YouTube or anything for that matter, once it starts to affect, because like I like to produce high quality stuff to the point where I think it's good. It might not be professionally done, but it's done enough to where, yeah, there's that. And once something happens to like those videos in question or that content in question, it really does fuck with me. And yeah, I'm a douche for that, sure, but that's just my true and honest feelings. Either way, I guess that'll be it for this. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time for some more Infamous 2. And of course, as always, take care, everybody.